And we start at the top. The two-time defending national champion, Georgia Bulldogs. Don't tweet if you've seen it, but do you know the last time that Georgia lost a regular season game?
Well, I would suppose it's been 3 years. Yeah, 2020, I would assume.
Yeah, November 7th of 2020, the cocktail party, a track meet that they lost to Florida. Since then, they have gone 12-0 and 12-0. Obviously lost to Alabama in the SEC championship in 2021. That was on the short list of most shocking games I've ever seen in my career, where I'm just watching it thinking, how is this happening? And yet it did. They got their revenge in the national championship game, and then last year, of course, I wouldn't say skated through, but we're not quite as dominant, but still very, very good. This year, of course, the number 11.5, which basically says, is Georgia going undefeated or not? I will kick us off.
Wait, before you start, we should clarify our system. For those at home. Kenny, I don't even know how prepared you are for this part, but yeah, we have we made a system because we want to gamble within ourselves, and we each have $1,000. I believe David called them
saving bucks.
Saving bucks, I like it. And then we are basically we have $1,000 allotted to then bet X amount on our confidence level for each pick. Just want to make sure everyone knew that going in. But now, David, kick us off.
Yes, I will say, by the way, Matthew C says the entire 2020 season is an asterisk. You're not wrong, but also it was very hard to win games that season, and the fact that you can go I'm trying to remember what Alabama did that year.
I mean,
was that the Devontae Smith year?
That was the best offense. Yeah, it was that was on paper the best Alabama team ever. Yeah, I mean, and it's yes, I agree. 2020 is weird. I'm never gonna argue that, but it doesn't change how good they were.
I will say, people I just think to try to compare that season to the NBA bubble is just that season had so many unique challenges that nobody had ever faced in any way. And team chemistry was a huge issue. And that was a wild season. We didn't quite get as many what the heck results as you would kind of think.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I'm willing to say it's an asterisk. I think it's a unique challenge. I'll say that.
I don't say it's an asterisk. Yeah.
Either way, I'm going to kick us off. I'm going to say Georgia. I'm going to go 50 Saban bucks for the under. Two things here. One, 3 undefeated seasons in a row just seems impossible, especially when, of course, you're rebooting your coordinators. You're losing. People can say what they want about Stetson Bennett. The guy was perfect for what Georgia wanted to do, played with a lot of confidence. Carson Beck, you're sort of hearing the NFL talk simmering.
Yeah, the hype is building. Yeah.
I need to see it a little more, okay? And I think ultimately, I love the receivers. Adding Dominic Lovett, huge for them. Ra Thomas, I love those guys. Huge upgrades for them offensively. I just have a hard time believing that you can go another year without a clunker. Georgia, we've seen very few clunkers. With this team, with this many pieces rebooted, call this also. I've been in many arguments this offseason with Seth Emerson about the merits of Mike Bobo. He is much higher on him than I am.
I'll wait for my turn. Yeah.
I will say, and we'll get to the Tommy Rees discourse in a bit as well. I think a lot of offensive play callers and defensive play callers look a lot better when they're coaching Alabama and Georgia players, and there is merit to that. But I feel the Georgia clunker. I'm taking the under with some amount of confidence.
All right. I say Kenny's up next.
See what he's got. So I'm going to put $75 on this.
Saban bucks,
excuse me. But yeah, I'm going to go with the over. And
let's go.
I agree with.
I like disagreement, not because I agree.
I agree with everything that you said, and I do feel like Georgia is kind of due for a clunker, perhaps. But I feel like it's more so going to come in postseason play. To me, this schedule comes down to the Tennessee game in Neyland, and There is a question mark at quarterback for Georgia. I know Tennessee's breaking in a new quarterback as well, but I think Georgia can edge that game out because top to bottom, they have a better roster. They do have an edge in terms of coaching. So I don't really see any other potential pitfalls. Ole Miss, I think, is another tough one that people aren't talking about enough in Athens. But to me, it's going to come down to the Tennessee game. I think that Georgia can edge that one out. And if they do lose, I see it more so in postseason play. So $75 on the over 11.5.
Like we should clarify these are regular season totals.
Yes.
So the postseason do not count.
Shout out Matthew C for saying David Ubben just said that the Dogs are going 7-5. Someone called Kirby Smart.
That was us.
I believe that's what he said.
Did we ever get to the bottom of what that was on the field after the national championship? Where all these, I think it was Nolan Smith was talking. So they were talking about a 7-5 that was magically pulled out of nowhere. I think we had this discussion last year that Georgia was both expected to do a lot and was also disrespected because I think 18 people in the SEC media poll picked them to win the league out of like 180 or something like that.
It's all pointless, so I need to remind myself, like, why am I trying to correct them? But I'm just like, it's the amount that I find myself getting mad every sport every year about, like, Travis Kelce yelling, like, nobody believes it. It's like, dude, you got everyone's ever.
The 7-5, that had to be Kirby Smart's burner account that was tweeting that out.
I remember I remember Caleb on Chase on the first round pick, the Jags.
Yes.
He would tweet, like, every week at LSU, like, nobody believes in me. And I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this. We've been writing hype pieces about you every year for 3 years, and you haven't done it yet. So, like, that's not me even hating on him. I'm just like, I don't think that's the issue. But I will be also going $75, but on the under. Generally, like, yeah, I'm probably in theory with you, Kenny, that like if I go game by game, I probably make Georgia 10-point or more favored every one of those games. Kenny, as you will learn, I am sometimes obnoxiously a data guy. And I think at the end of the day, it's just probability for me that, one, I'm not just outright confident in this team as I have been the last 2 years, just in terms of I am sure they're going to be loaded, but there is less security. I never mind losing guys when you're keeping a coordinator in place or changing a coordinator when you have experience back. But I think we're going to talk about this with Alabama too. When you're replacing both, like a lot of talent and coordinator, that does give me a good bit of pause. And obviously they're going to be fine. Like me saying they're going to go under means I think they go 11-1. So like no need to get mad.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
but it is kind of at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you're at Tennessee, you are at Auburn, who I will get to later, but I like Florida's tricky. I like Kentucky this year, even though it's a home game. And none of those teams do I think are anywhere near as good. I just think some point they trip up. So I will go 75 on the under. That might be more money than I should be because I hate putting much money on Georgia losing, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think just like this Georgia team will be very good. They're the best team in the country. I think they got a great shot to three-peat. I don't think they're going to be as untouchable as they were in 2021.
Exactly.
2021
also, let's not forget,
was a joke.
Also, let's not forget, they had clunkers last year. And I know it's a different thing. They were like defending champs.
People forget they were losing to Mizzou by double digits in the fourth quarter.
And again, like I know that was different because it was like they're defending champs. It was hard to get up every week, but like they're still defending champs. Like
if you're down, if you're down 10 to Mizzou last year in the fourth quarter,
Catherine B.
and you were replacing your quarterback and your coordinators this year, like anything is possible.
Yep.
Like. So I think at some point they trip up.